Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. Let's start with my schedule. This weekend, I'm in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Improv. Right now, we have seven shows are sold out, and we got a third one Friday and a second one Sunday. Wait a minute, we got 5, 3, 6. Yeah, we're probably at a third one Sunday. I don't know. We're probably gonna add one more, hopefully. But DC Improv is like one of the best clubs in the country. Like, man, them, Houston, Baltimore. They're probably three of the best, like, for me, an urban comic to go to. Because they just know how to, I don't know what it is. They know how to promote, and people come out and sell a bunch of tickets. And then next week, after that, I'm in Richmond, Virginia at the Funny Bone there. And then the week after that, I'm in Cancun. Well, that's already sold out. So I am in Cancun October 6th, and then October 7th, I'm in Palm Springs, California at the Morongo Casino. And then October 12th through the 15th, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio at the Improv. So that's where I'll be. That's my schedule. Let's get right into this past weekend. I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it's so funny that I go to Pittsburgh, and a lot of times when you go to cities, not a lot, but it does happen, you can go to the team, somebody in the front office might call, a player might text, somebody, and they want to come to a show, and sometimes they'll offer like a jersey or tickets, or in this case, somebody from the front office of the Steelers called and invited me to come to their facilities, tour it, see it. They had practice on Saturday because they were playing the Monday night game. They said, hey, you want to come to practice? They gave me a time. I didn't want to be there the whole practice, but by the time I got to this facility, there was about 20 minutes of practice left. So I got there to tail end of practice, and it's funny because being from Cincinnati, being a diehard Bengals fan, that's why I wore the Harambe shirt. I didn't know it was going to create such a shitstorm locally in Cincinnati. I have but I've been to the Baltimore Ravens practice facility in Ole Mills. I've been to the Cleveland Browns, the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure I'm forgetting some other teams that I've been to, walked around. Seattle Seahawks, when I came to Seattle a few years ago. A couple of the players came out, a couple of the coaches. They said, hey, you want to come down to practice? I said, yeah, of course. It's interesting to just tour NFL and big-time college football or basketball or NBA facilities just to see how the ins and outs of how they work. The Washington Redskins, Houston Texans. I mean, the more I talk, the more I'm like, God, I've been to a lot of different not just training camps, but like their practice facilities. And I mean, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching them practice for about 15, 20 minutes. Not a big deal. I've known Najee Harris, their tailback, since 2018 when he was still at Alabama. And I noticed that they had a photographer follow me around. And he was taking pictures. And I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it'd be some promo pics out there. But the Pittsburgh Steelers put it on like their website, their Facebook page, and real polite. We want to thank Gary Owen for coming out to not training camp, but to practice today. And they've done this with other people. They did it with Matt Rife. I saw it with Tracy Morgan, different comedians. I'm sure they did it with singers, actors, just people are in town. That's what they do. And a bunch of the guys came to see me this weekend, a couple of the coaches while I was at the Pittsburgh Improv. But I say all that to say this. The Steelers posted it on their Facebook page, and all of a sudden, it took about a day or two, Cincinnati, certain Cincinnati people were up in arms. I'm a traitor. How could I do this to the Bengals? And I'm going, what? I was like, I didn't post anything. When I went to Seattle, I posted stuff. When I went to the Cowboys, I posted stuff. When I went to Ohio State, even though it's college, I posted stuff. Houston, Texas, I posted stuff. The Miami Dolphins, I posted stuff. But I guess it's because it's Pittsburgh. I've crossed the line. Oh, when I went to Cleveland, it wasn't a big deal. But Pittsburgh, I guess I crossed the line. And I guess it was funny because it didn't help that they made me a jersey. And here's a jersey they made me. Never put it on. Of course I'm going to keep it. I got a bunch of jerseys in a bin at my house. And I just keep them for keepsakes. But this one they made, it says Owen 44. And I thought it was funny because it was a dig on me. If those you know my story, you know at one point my ex-wife was asking for $44,000 a month in alimony. So the fact that the Steelers dug on me with the 44, it was kind of funny. I got to admit, it was kind of like a little stab in the back. And then when I got there, everybody was like, we know you're a Bengals fan. We know you're a Bengals fan. They was like, don't be filming us. Just give me shit. It's all in good fun. But it's funny because then some people was like, you're a traitor. You'll never be rule of the jungle. How could you go to the enemy? And I'm like, let's just bring it down just a little, okay? Everybody knows where my heart lies. Everybody knows who I'm rooting for. Doesn't mean I hate people. I think we're groomed, especially when you don't get out and travel as much. You just think everybody's evil in other cities, and that's not the case. Pittsburgh is a great city. They always come out to see me. We sold out 7 shows this weekend. 7 in advance. And it's love. I go to Cleveland. It's crazy because some of the biggest cities where I sell the most tickets is Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and of course Cincinnati. The AFC North shows love, baby. They show love. So, yeah, I went. And shouts out to my guy, DY. Daryl Young, he took me around. He was the one that made the phone call. Just a good dude. And he really, we talked about the Bengals a lot. And it was just, let me show you. It was just fun. It was just interesting. It's always interesting to go in the weight rooms of these NFL facilities and you see just all the weights are Pittsburgh. Go to Bengals, all the weights are Bengals. They all got that stuff on. It's just interesting. It's interesting to see and you compare it, who's got nicer stuff. To me, the best NFL facility I've seen is Seattle or Dallas. Dallas is, without question, Jerry Jones is always going to be like, I got to be the best. So that was unreal. Because in Dallas, Jerry's made a little city out there in Frisco where the Cowboys practice facility is. I mean, they got like a hotel. They got a condo, big 5-star condo building. They got restaurants. Their practice field is, I think people play high school games on it, like state championship games. It's just ridiculous. Their inside field. But it's Jerry Jones. You expect nothing less. But nobody raised a fuss when I went and toured the Cowboys a few years ago. But I get it. It's a rivalry. But even they knew. I was like, dude, I had a good time today. A lot of the guys was cool, but when you guys play the Bengals, I will be still rooting for the Bengals, just so you know. Because you got like, I got to chop it up with Patrick Peterson for a little bit. And, he's come to see me in Arizona. He's come to see me in Minnesota. And now he just happens to be with the Steelers. I didn't even know he was there. After practice, we went into the weight room. He's stretching. And I was like, oh, snap. And then we just got to chop it up a little bit. But, like, do I have to I can't like him anymore? And he came to see me this weekend. Like, I'm supposed to not mess with him at all because he plays for the Steelers. Like, let's just relax a little bit. Bring it down. Actually, I thought it was funny that they made the jersey. And I'll give you an example. So I brought another one. So I went to Sacramento just last year. The Kings reached out. And, they made me this jersey. And they put the podcast on it. Get some. No one made a fuss about that. Usually I've got jerseys from Orlando Magic's made me a jersey before. Houston Texans made me a jersey. It's just That's what they do when you come visit. They make you jerseys. It's not like I called and asked, give me this jersey, man. I want to wear it. But I understand. I understand the loyalty. I understand the anger. There is a special rivalry with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. I completely get it. But it's one thing to be like, people were having fun with it, but some people were dead serious. Like, you banned from the city. No, I'm not. I'm still going to come to Cincinnati. I'm still going to come in concert. I'm still going to sell tickets. Everything's going to be good. It's just funny, like, what you doing sleeping with the enemy? You with the ops. And then they act like they discovered something. It's a public page. Nobody was hiding anything. So let's slow it down just a little bit. Like, I went on Cam Newton's podcast. Am I not supposed to go on Cam Newton's podcast because Cam Newton didn't play for the Bengals? Because he played for Carolina and New England? I'm not ever supposed to. Okay. I can have no association with anybody on any other team. But it is what it is. I tell you what, though. Thank you to everybody in Pittsburgh that came out this weekend. I had a ball. We had such a good time. They got burned. Rocky Patel, his cigar bar is always top notch. We went there and watched that Colorado game. That was crazy. And not gonna talk about the girl that must. Okay, so my guy T-Robe, out of Pittsburgh. That's his hometown. This guy opens for me in a lot of cities. So he's like the entertainment director at Burn. So he had it all set up after our show Saturday. We was going there to watch. I said, dude, I just want to get somewhere and watch the game. And I want to be able to sit down, have a cigar, decompress, not really be bothered. So we go to Burn. He's got this big section for us, right? We're sitting there, and certain people was out loud up and everything. It was cool. It was about 20 people in our area. And this one girl came up. And it's always out. It just takes one person to mess up the night. I don't know if she was on coke. I'm guessing coke. I can't see just being liquor. She was out of control. Like, every time I had a conversation with somebody, she was chiming in. And I was looking at her like, why are you in all my conversation? At one point, I literally just went, and I didn't realize she heard me. I went to somebody, I said, God, I wish she'd shut the fuck up. And it was one of them moments when you say it and the whole room got quiet. So I go, God, I wish she'd shut the fuck up. And then she heard it. And then she started telling other people, did he tell me to shut up? She told me to shut up? And I was just like, and then I just looked at her. I said, yeah, I really want you to shut up. I didn't say shut the fuck up. I said, I really want you to shut up. And then she started asking people, what? And then the fact that she kept nonstop talking after I told her I wish she'd shut up, I was like, she must be on coke. Then she took, if anybody knows my opener, T-Robe, that man loves Tito's. That's his drink, Tito's and grapefruit. That's his drink. She took the bottle, his bottle that he ordered and he paid for, put her mouth on it, started drinking it straight out the bottle. I thought he was about to lose his shit. Now he goes off on her, and then she just yells out. It was so random. She goes, I just drank out the bottle. She was like, what do I got to do to make up for it? Suck every guy's dick in here? I was like, what'd she just say? I was like, she got to go, bro. She got to go. I think a couple guys looked up and goes, excuse me? Did somebody say sucking dick? So that was probably the most exciting time we had in Pittsburgh. I guess a couple people texted her next day, and a lot of people knew her in that section. Obviously, she came up there. I guess the next day she just apologized. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. It was just one of them nights, man. Somebody said she was drinking. I'm thinking coke. It was a lot of coke. The way she was talking and acting, I've never done coke. I've seen people on it, and they talk a lot. They're always all over the place. So that was the exciting night in Pittsburgh. And what a game. Oh, my God. Great game, Colorado State, Colorado. Shouts out to Deion Sanders, undefeated. Big game this week against Oregon. And then, okay, so we had a good time there. And then I got my hair cut by a Puerto Rican barber, faded me up nice, gave me a little line. I never had a line. I had a line over here. He lined me, gave me a line with the clippers. So anyways, thanks for the haircut. That was a good. So T-Robe picked me up Friday from the airport. And he said, let's go get a haircut. Let's go to my barber. All right, we go to the barber. We get a haircut. I got mine first. T-Robe goes next. You know, these barbershops sometimes, they're not sport clips. They're not great clips. They take like an hour. So I said, I'm starving. I'm going to get something to eat. So I go walk around this area. I go to this restaurant called the Double Wide Grill. And I thought, oh, I grew up in a double wide trailer. and it looked funny. And I go, oh, I'm going to go eat there. Little homage to the trailer park. If you're in Pittsburgh and you see the double wide grill, don't go. The service, rude, like they didn't want to be bothered. Usually when I have a bad meal, something's bad on the plate. This is what I ordered. Grilled chicken, broccoli, and it came with mashed potatoes. I don't like mashed potatoes. But when I walked in, I said, hey, first of all, nobody's there to greet you. Then I said, hey, do you see yourselves? What do we do here? And this guy just looked at me. He was like, and then he held his arm out like, I guess you seat yourself. So I sat down, and he just like kind of gave me the menu. He's like, what do you want to drink? And I was like, unsweetened iced tea. All right, brings it back. And I said, I guess I'm going to have the grilled chicken. And I go, where are the sides? And he goes, where it says sides. Oh, okay. Clearly I didn't see it on the menu. I wouldn't have asked. So then I said, you know what? I'm just not even going to ask what the sides are. I said, just give me what comes with it. And then so they bring it out. The chicken was so burnt. And it looked like they just went to like a grocery store, opened up a pack of chicken, and put it on this grill and just let it burn. I mean, it was burnt. Not overcooked. Burnt. The broccoli looked like they took it out of the bag and just put it on the plate. And then I took my fork. I go, I just got to know. The mashed potatoes, cold as shit. So usually when you go to a restaurant, you have one bad thing on the menu. Not everything. How is the chicken overcooked and the broccoli and potatoes aren't cooked? I was like, I drank the iced tea, ate it by the chicken, and I just told the guy I got up. He goes, you want it to go? I said, no. So then I just paid, didn't really, I think I left like $1 tip on it. And I was like, boop. But never go to the double wide grill. And I hope they see this. Terrible service, terrible food. Just shut down. Trust me. You don't want to go there. It reminded me of like, it's funny when you get bad service as a customer because you're like, what do I tip? What do I do? Sometimes if the food's bad, but the service is good, I'll still leave a tip because it's not the server's fault. But in this instance, the service was bad and the food was bad. I still left $1. You're welcome. It's funny because I remember probably about a year ago, I had flown home and I was starving, but I got on a flight where I landed like at 1:00 and I still hadn't eaten anything all day. So I was still like, my brain wanted breakfast. So I went to a First Watch and I get the same thing at First Watch every time. I get a avocado omelet with fruit instead of potatoes. It's verbatim. Anybody ever go to First Watch? Anybody's ever served me at First Watch? You know I get the same thing. Avocado omelet, fruit instead of potatoes. That's it. That's all I ordered. I don't know what the price is on that, but it's like $15 or something, right? And I just remember I got there. It was like they closed at 2:00. I think I walked in the door at 1:30. I just told the guy, it looked like they were wiping up, cleaning up and everything, but I just wanted an omelet. Ate it, left. I think I tipped 20, maybe 25%. Quick. Usually I go, whatever 20 is, I'll go a little over, whatever it is. When it's something like that, like nothing big. So let's do the math on that. If the omelet's 15 and 20% of that is $3. So I think I left 5 and thought nothing of it. Left there, boom. All of a sudden, I'm on Twitter and I'm getting like, I'm just looking at my name and I got tagged in a couple things and it was like the guy that served me at First Watch said, Gary Owen came in today. Almost like you never know who you're going to get. Gary Owen came in today. He said something like, taller than I thought, terrible tipper. And I was like, huh? So I responded. I said, I ordered an omelet. What was you expecting? And then the guy started, and I made sure I quoted the retweet, right? You quote it so you could see who made the post. Then the guys start going back and forth with other people. Other people was like, oh, he thought he was about to get the bag off an omelet. I'm like, what do you tip on an omelet? And then the guy, his reasoning for making the post was, We were about to close. He came in. We kept the kitchen open. And, I'm in the service industry. I don't care what the bill is. I always leave $10. And I was like, huh? I was just like, now people were going in on him, right? And he's going back and forth. In the end, the guy deleted his Twitter. It was just gone because people were just coming out like boom, 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 boom. Some people were like, you shouldn't be doing this. You can't call customers out when they come in your restaurant. The guy did leave like 25% tip. And it was just like, some people, man. Some people. But it reminded me of that when I was doing the Double White Girl, I was like, I'll ask you this. Was I wrong in the tip I left on a $15 check? Because I'll be honest with you, I never was a good tipper until I did this movie called College, and that was like 2006 that we filmed that movie, and I went out to eat with this guy named Nick Zano, and we were eating, and the bill came to like $40, just me and him, and I said I'll take care of it. He said, well, I'll get the tip, so I took care of the bill, and he left $20 as a tip, and I said, hey man, the bill was like only $40. He goes, dude, my mom was a waitress and we lived off tips our whole life. I was like, oh, okay. So now when I go out to eat, I do 20 and then I round up. So it ends up being like 25, 30% normally. But was I wrong in the first watch? Because they weren't closed. It was not like I walked in at 1:55. I walked in at 1:30, like 30 minutes before closing, and they were still open. So I don't know what he thought he was supposed to get. It was just... But the fact that he tried to call me out on social media, I was like, so. Anyways, this is what I forgot to bring up when I was talking about Pittsburgh and my schedule. So I'm filming my next special November 4th in San Jose at the Improv. Now, if anybody's been to San Jose Improv, they know that's like a little theater. So what we did was I'm financing it myself. I don't know how many specials I've done. I've done a bunch of specials, but some I financed myself. The last couple I didn't have to, but this one I'm self-financing, paying for everything, and then we're going to try to sell it. And it's funny because today Charlemagne texts me, and he was like, from the Breakfast Club, and he was like, hey, just want you to know Country Wayne's Netflix special airs this week, and Lunell's Netflix special is airing September 26th. And he goes, have a blessed day. And I was like, you're a jerk. Because he knows Netflix has always said no to me. And I said, well, this weekend I'm in D.C., and Matt Rife's filming his Netflix special, so at least I'm in the same city as a Netflix special getting filmed, so I'm getting closer. And then I said, so next time I come on the Breakfast Club, this special will be done. Hopefully it'll be sold, and we'll be talking about somebody else getting a Netflix special. It's usually how it works. Then Charlamagne was like, we got to come up with some promo of how to get you a Netflix special. I'm like, we'll see. But, so I'm filming my next one November 4th. I forgot to mention that. So what I did was, whenever I do a special, I always want to pick up club dates, because 2 weeks before my special, 2 weeks prior, I got all theater dates and casinos and stuff. So I don't have any club dates to like really hone in my special. And that's really where you get to hone it in before you record it. So what we did was November 3rd, I'm in San Jose. So I'll get 2 shows in on that Friday. And then November 4th, we'll film it. And then November 1st, I'll be in Sacramento at the Punchline, and we're going to do 2 shows in Sacramento, so I can get a couple of shows. So I forgot to mention that. So if you're in Sacramento November 1st, I'll be there honing my act for my special. And so if you want to see a preview to my special, and then the 3rd and obviously the 4th, we're filming at the Improv. So yeah, that's what I got coming up. And I was thinking too the other day, somebody was like, took a break off Instagram. Now I'm back. And sometimes I'll be thinking, why do people have to announce when they get off social media? What is the announcement? Yo, I had to take time off to clear my head, get everything right. Now I'm back. And it's funny because normally the people that leave social media, they only leave for like a day or two. You didn't really why do you have to announce it? Why do you have to announce you're back? Nobody noticed. Nobody cares. Let me tell you when I knew nobody cared, if you come or go on social media, when my divorce got announced. Not when my divorce happened. When it got announced on TMZ and everything, and I was avoiding a process server and doing all this other stuff, it was like I was off the grid for like 2.5 months. You can go back. I don't make any posts anywhere. And that's when I'd still be on Instagram. I'd still be on Facebook and Twitter reading stuff, but I wasn't posting anything at all. And I don't think anybody missed me. I didn't make no announcement saying I'm logging off. I got to take a break while I get my head together for this divorce. I never said I'm back. I mean, even to the extent when Kevin Hart got in the car wreck and he didn't make any posts for a while. That's when I said, like, we just going to keep it moving. Nobody cares. You don't have to announce that. Like, just don't get on for a couple of days and then come back. That's all you got to do. I guarantee nobody's going to – there might be one or two loyal people be like, man, where were you? But for the most part, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're gone or if you're here. So I think it's almost like we say that to ourselves. It's weird. Social media is funny to me. When people aren't in shape, but they talk about, I'm about to get in shape, I'm like, you don't have to tell us that. You can just get in shape. Or show us the final version of you. Don't tell us like you're going your first day of vegan meals. Just do it. And then we'll see when you're done. I think, I'm trying to get, who had like some huge transformations that we didn't see coming and didn't make no announcements? Jay Farrow. Jay Farrow got in great shape and never said a word. All of a sudden, he just had a post and his shirt was off. It was like, God damn, Jay. That was one that I noticed. He never said a word. He never said, I'm about to start eating right, working out. He just got in shape. That was the biggest one for me. I've noticed recently, Tom Segura, he got in shape. He just got in shape. And then people started noticing themselves. He didn't make a big announcement like, I'm getting in shape. He just got in shape. So yeah, I think sometimes we're a little too full of ourselves. We're like, yeah, you don't have to make those announcements. If you're not going to be on social media for a week or so, just don't be on it. You don't have to tell us, I'm leaving. I know you guys are going to miss me. I hope you guys will make it in your life without me for the next few days. Yeah, you don't have to announce that. Somebody was telling me the other day, they was like, who do you think's funny? Who do you think is funny? And I always said, like, I don't watch a ton of stand-up. I used to always say I don't watch no stand-up, but that's a lie. Obviously, with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, a clip will pop up and you watch it. I guess I should say I don't watch specials. I can't sit down and just watch an hour special because I get frustrated. It's like I can get frustrated like, damn, that was a brilliant joke. I wish I would have thought of that. I never want to think like my jokes aren't coming from me. I always want to know like nobody can ever say Gary Owen took a joke or a premise. Everything is coming from me. That's why I don't watch a lot of stand-up. But of course I'll watch a clip here and there. But I tell you, every time this guy's clip pops up, I die laughing. And I really think, to me, and comedy's subjective, to me he's the funniest guy out there that hasn't quote-unquote popped. He's making a great living. He's doing good. But Eric Griffin, man, that guy's just funny to me. I've had him on my podcast a couple times, but I always tell him, I go, man, I was on a plane one time watching he got something on the airlines. I always wonder how that happens. He got a special on there. And that's like, I think that's the first time in years that I watched an entire special. And it was just fucking good, man. He just cracks me up. So if you're going to ask me right now, who's the funniest one? To me, and this is to me, is Eric Griffin. And this is not a put down to anybody else. I was watching All the Smoke, their podcast. And Dion made a good point. And this Dion was on there a couple years ago, and he goes, Just because I like LeBron doesn't mean I hate Jordan. Just because I like Jordan doesn't mean I hate LeBron. We get that all twisted. Just because I like Durant doesn't mean I hate Kawhi. And that's what I'm saying. Just because I say Eric Griffin, to me, is the funniest guy doesn't mean other people aren't funny. It's just, to me, he cracks me up. And my sense of humor is warped. And I hope that didn't just downgrade Eric. I hope that didn't just do that. No, it was just, to me, like his jokes, I could just watch them over and over and over again, and the same jokes, and they're still funny every time. And it's just like it's not even like what he's really saying, it's how he's saying it. His delivery just cracks me up, man. I mean, so somebody's asked me who do I think is funniest. I was like, yeah, probably Eric Griffin to me. Right now, I'd say that. Yeah, Eric Griffin. And then I almost said Jake Paul. Logan Paul and Danis. They got a fight coming up. Hold on, let me look it up. What's the date on this? What's the date on this fight? If Danis shows up, he backs out a lot. Danis. I should have had this ready. And Logan Paul. What? Logan Paul said if I done October 14th. So I'm anxious to see how you guys feel about this. How about this? I just thought of this. For my special, November 4th, I don't have a title yet. So why don't you guys leave like comments and stuff and tell me what you think I should name my special. I've gone back and forth off a couple one. Oops. I thought Oops was funny. I thought Owen, no S, is one I thought. So I'm curious to see what you guys think I should name my special. So let me know. And whoever, if I use the title you tell me, I'll make sure I tag you. That's all I can offer. I'm anxious to see what you guys think my next special should be called. Anyways, I just thought that. Sorry, this is definitely the ADHD podcast this week. But the Dillion, Danis, Logan Paul, I saw their face-off. I really like these face-offs on like Showtime and HBO, and when they got these fights coming up, or it's just be on YouTube, and the guys sit down at a table across from each other, and they really go at it. I'm like, how can they control themselves? Like sometimes I'd be thinking, are they? Some of the stuff they say, I'm like, I'd be trying to fight somebody, I think. But Dillion Danis has taken this trolling to another level because he keeps going in on Logan Paul's fiance. And he just keeps calling her all these names and her sexual past. And, he basically was like, the face, he goes, you're a hoe. You're marrying a hoe. And my thing with that is, one, if you just put Logan Paul and Dillion Danis, I mean, Logan has a huge fan base, but I don't know if it sells as much as like Dillion Danis trolling him like he is with his girl. It's selling tickets. It's got everybody interested. It's got me interested. But the way he's doing it, saying your girl's a hoe, I'm like, I don't. And he's kind of like saying, hey, all these guys she slept with in the past. I'm like, listen, any girl you marry, any girl you date, she's got a past. You ain't the first. So the thing is, if you don't date celebs, nobody knows about your past. But we're in this day and age where if you do date other athletes, entertainers, people know about it. So it's like, one thing, yeah, it's selling the fight and getting your skin, but I'm like, dude, every girl you gonna be with has been with somebody else. It's just most of us are dealing with women that have slept with a UPS driver or, a guy that works at Papados or a banker or something like that. It's just we don't hear about it. But I really think, man, I know you're not supposed to like the Paul brothers because they've taken on like the Black Cat Floyd Mayweather type deal, but I like them. I like them. I think they're entertaining. I think they sell fights. I just like them. I think definitely Logan is the softer of the two because Jake goes hard, but Logan is more of like he's friendly. He's friendly. Not that Jake isn't friendly, but he's a friendly guy with his podcast. I watch his podcast all the time, Impulsive. And I'll tell you this. He's got that drink, Prime. That stuff's pretty good. I'll tell you that. I like the Tropical Punch, my favorite. But I when I went to Vegas and toured the UFC Apex, that's the first time I drank it. I was like, man, that shit's pretty good. I always got it on deck at my house now. But I think Logan's more of a nicer guy than Jake. I think it doesn't come the trolling and going off on people. It doesn't come off as natural for Logan. It's like he's got to try. I think deep down he's a good dude, so it takes more effort. Where like Jake, it's just he don't give a fuck. He's just going in on people, and I really don't think he cares. Or I think Logan kind of cares a little bit. But to see that face off, he really wants to be the shit out of Dillion Danis because him going off on his girls. And I think he's taking it a little too far, but it's got me interested. I really want Logan to win this fight for real. And people don't understand, the Paul brothers are such good athletes. Like, Logan placed in Ohio at the state wrestling meet. I don't know if you know, wrestling in Ohio is probably one of the top 5 states in the country for high school wrestling. The fact that you can make it to state and place is unreal. Listen, I wrestled in high school. I was one of the worst high school wrestlers in the history of wrestling. I was 3-30 my senior year. I won 3 times. I lost 30. I beat the same guy 3 times. I'm terrible. I'm awful. Got pinned 29 times. Only made it through the whole time once. And I'm awful. But whenever I was living in Ohio, the wrestling tournament, I'd always go for a day up to Ohio State to go watch the wrestling matches. They're unbelievable, like the athletes. And the fact that Logan grew up in Ohio and placed in a state wrestling tournament is, I don't think people give enough credit for what an athlete he is. So and then to transform and to fight Mayweather, even though Mayweather's a lot smaller, older, but the fact that he got in the ring, had the balls to get in the ring with Mayweather, it says a lot about him. I really hope he beats the shit out of Dillion Danis, honestly. So yeah, I'll be watching. Wherever I'm at that night, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna watch it, drink some Prime for Logan Paul. But yeah, I like the Paul brothers. It's weird. I like what they're doing. They found a way to market. And me being a stand-up, I'm always looking at stuff from afar and looking at the bigger picture. I was like, oh, I see what they doing. I see what they doing now. Because even Mayweather, as he came across as the bad guy when he was boxing, every time I've been around Floyd, the nicest guy on the planet. One time I went to Vegas. He's got the strip club girl collection. He just happened to be there. Gary showed me around the whole place. We're going to have this room. We're going to have the shower room. We're going to have this private room. We got up here. We got a buffet we have here. He would just show me everything. He's just one thing I'll say about Mayweather too, every time I've ever come to Vegas and he's been in town, he comes to a show and buys tickets. Done this one time, I was at the SLS probably 5 years ago, and the promoter put the show together on like literally 2 weeks' notice. 2 weeks' notice, and we should have did one show. We did 2. If we would have did one show, it would have been packed, but we did 2. So it was like one show was packed and the other show wasn't that packed. It was just like we should have did one. Anyways, Floyd came, bought a bunch of tickets, and the promoter even told me, he goes, man, Mayweather came and bought tickets. He goes, he bought like 20 tickets, and he only brought like 6 people. He just wanted empty seats around him. I wanted to be like, one sold out. You didn't have to buy 20. We could have just sectioned it off for you. But he's a guy I would have left free tickets for. But he went and bought them. So that says a lot about Floyd. You know, he's not looking for handouts. And I love free tickets. I call all the time for free stuff. I don't mind paying, but I'll still call just to see. So yeah, I think when you don't know people and you go off the how they're portrayed when they're promoting stuff, whether it's boxing, MMA, or wrestling, you got to meet them in person to really know what they're like. And never met Logan, never met Jake, but they seem like good dudes, you know? Like, I would love to go on Impulsive. I mean, some of the episodes of the Bobby Lee one was hysterical. The Dana White one was good. So yeah, I hope he beats the shit out of Dylan Danis. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So anyways, this weekend I am in DC, not filming a Netflix special, but Matt Rife is. So I'm close. Getting closer, Netflix. The next week I'm in Richmond, Virginia. And then don't forget, my special is November 4th in San Jose at the Improv. Just added November 1st in Sacramento at the Punchline, 2 shows. And that's like a precursor to my special. And then leave me a comment, leave me a message on what you think I should name my special coming up, because I'm going back and forth, but I'll figure something out. And everyone upset that I went to Steeler training camp. Listen, not that deep. And I love it when people be like, how could you do that? You're not going to get invited. That's the people that are upset. You were never going to get invited. So it's just funny to me. Like, I like it when people are like, how could you? But then they got a LOL or they're laughing about it. But no, you should see some of the DMs I got in the message on Facebook. Like, motherfuckers was mad I went to Pittsburgh. Like, what do you think I was doing? I was switching teams? Nah. I think it was because I held the jersey up. They had a picture of me and Najee sitting there talking, and I held the jersey up. And when I held the jersey up, I was telling like, this was a low blow, bro. That was a low blow. Because it was funny, as I'm sitting there, I was watching practice, and I flipped the jersey over my shoulder. And one guy, their long snapper, came up and goes, hey, man, you got 46? And I was like, no, it's 44. He was like, I thought somebody had my jersey. I was like, where'd you get it? And this guy was just a long snapper from Duquesne. 3rd year in the league, he was just like, nobody's ever got my jersey. And then 44, it's funny, was a guy that played for the Cardinals last year that I met at the W in Scottsdale one night after my show. And Marcus Golden's name. And he got traded to the Steelers. I didn't even know he was on the team. That's who 44 is on the Steelers. So he looked over and was like, you got my jersey on. Not on, but I had 44. But it was a dig on what my ex wanted in alimony. So even me going to Pittsburgh to see it, they still trolled me when I was there. So never put the jersey on. It was just, that's what they do. If you look at anybody that goes there, they print a jersey out and give it to any celeb or visit or distinguished guest that comes through. So that's all. That's all it was. Not a big deal. So relax. I'm still Cincinnati Bengals through and through. This Monday night, I will be in Cincy at the game, and we'll see if those people troll me. It's weird. When you get trolled on the internet, it never translates to real life. Like, people would always be like, they get so mad and everything. I never see it in real life, though. I should knock on wood. It might happen this Monday. But I never see those angry people in person. Whether it's people that say, all I do is talk about black and white stuff, or, I'm a culture vulture, or how can I do this and this? I never see those people in real life. Where are they? Because when I'm out, it's just love. Everybody just love. What's up, Gary? What's up? And I'm sure I'm going to get shit this week, Monday, when I go home for the Monday night game. I'm going to get shit. People are like, I saw you in Pittsburgh. I saw you, traitor. But deep down, they know where my heart is. So let's slow down. All right, y'all. This is Gary on the Get Some Podcast.